Hello, it's Rosalyn from Rosalyn's Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make this card. It's made slightly larger than the normal cards I make, as it's a 21st birthday card for my son, and I just thought he needed something a little bit special. So the inspiration for this card came from a card I saw on Pinterest by Diane Barnes. I will post her tutorial on my website alongside the details that I've done here. Diane made it so that it was a standard size card, and I've grown it up a little bit so the my dimensions are slightly bigger, so you can follow for the size that I've made here, which is 14 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or 5.5 inches by 8.25. I've used framelets to make the 21s. That's the large letter framelets from Stampin Up. This stamp is from the Birthday Blast, which is in the Occasions catalogue. I'm using basic black, whisper white and real red. We have a few basic pearls here to do the buttons down the front, and I raided my button jar and just popped a suit button on the front. So now I can show you how I made this card. Okay, to make the card, right, I am using to start with, I'm using the whole sheet of basic black cardstock. I've scored this at 3 1/4 down both sides, and then I've made a triangular fold by scoring at 5 centimeters in from the top side and 7.5 centimeters in from the bottom, and I've joined those two lines up and I've scored it, folded it outwards, so you end up with a piece of cardstock that looks like this. Okay, you need an insert which measures 4 3/4 by 7 3/4. That's to go on the very inside. We'll be stamping on that later. You also need a front piece which measures 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. You need a piece of shirt facing which I've cut at 1 1/4 by 8 1/4. You need 2 collar pieces which I've cut from a square of measuring 2 by 2 3/4, and then I've got this template. I'll post this template online on my website so that you will see it, and you literally cut so that it's 3/4 of an inch up there and 1/4 of an inch there, and make a point there, and you cut that bit you don't need, that bit you don't need, and that just makes the wings of the collar. To make the bow, I've literally got a piece of real red card, cut it 1.5 inches by 8 inches, and I've used the envelope punch board and literally punched this in the middle there and turned it around, punched it again in the same place, and then taken it to the middle and punched there on all 4 corners, just to give you that loop. Right, you also need a piece at the back which measures 1.5 inches by 4 inches, and again the envelope punch board, and I've already punched that out in the middle, just placing this into the punch board at 1 3/4, and then punching, turning over 1 3/4 and punch. Then you also need one small bit which measures 1/2 inch by 3 1/4 inches, to be the centre of your bow. Okay, that's the card that you need for this today. The stamp set I'm using, because we're going to stamp in the middle, I'm taking from the Occasions catalogue, Spring and Summer Occasions catalogue, and it's Birthday Blast. This comes as a bundle with the framelits that cut these different images out. So, but today I'm just using the stamp set, and I'm just using this stamp here. I'm going to stamp that in real red to match my real red bow. I'm using some basic pearls to do the buttons down the front. I've also raided my button box and found a black button, which I'm going to pop on the front of the tuxedo. Now, I'm not sure I've mentioned, but I'm going to make this as a 21st birthday card. So I've cut out of gold and Whisper White using the large number framelits, and I've cut one of each in Whisper White and gold, and I'm going to layer them up like so, and then raise them up. So let's get going. Move all this out of the way. We'll start by stamping our image. Okay, don't worry if you've missed any of the measurements. They will all be on my website, and because they're very complicated. So now I'm going to stamp up the sentiment that's in the middle of the card. I'm going to use my real red. It's very, very wet, so I'm going to have to be very careful. Right, that's okay. Just take that edge off. Get this as straight as I can. I do apologise if my head gets in. Let me just move it down a bit. Okay, I'm going to set that off to dry, and we're going to bring in the card pieces. Okay, right, we've got I'll put this out of the way. I always put my hands in that. Okay, right, we've got the card piece, and it's scored, like we've said, right, we've got our basic black piece of card. Okay, this is 21 centimetres by 29 centimetres, or 8 1/4 by 11 5/8. It's scored at 8 centimetres or 3 1/4 on both sides. I literally scored there, turned around and scored there. Okay, the triangles I'm measured in. What did I do? I measured in 5 centimetres here from the outside edge and made a mark, and I measured up from the bottom 7 1/2 centimetres and made a mark, and then I literally scored between the two marks, and I've done that 5 centimetres in and 7 1/2 centimetres up and scored between the two marks. This is then folded and burnished using your bone folder to make nice crisp edges. Fold that in, burnish that, and there we go. Right, so that's our card. Okay, so we're going to place this image that we've just stamped up. We'll just put some snail on it to and place that in the middle of our card. Oops. That's in there like that. Okay, now we take the front of our Whisper White and our piece that's going to be making the shirt facing, and we want to get this right in the middle. So okay, we need to make that right in the middle, so I'm going to square it up with my piece of grid paper here, and then place that so it lays in the middle to go down through. When you're happy with how it looks, pop a bit of snail down through it. And lay that down. Right, then we take those two pieces that we've cut for the collar. If you remember, we cut a piece of card which measured 5 by 7 centimeters, and then we made a template, which again, like I said, I will post this online, and you pop some snail on the back of these. And they go up in the top corner, like so. Okay, and then you match up the other side and just pop some snail on there, and this bit fits down on that side to give you your colour effect. Okay. Now then, we need to pop this inside of the black card, so we'll pop some... Okay, we pop some snail down through this side. Then we can take our card and slot it underneath and press down. And that gives us our opening card, which then folds over like that. Okay, so we need to attach these down, so we'll pop a little bit of snail on the back of there, and that folds down like so. I'm going to notch out this corner here. I should have done it before I glued it down. And we literally take a centimetre square out, just to give you plackets. Okay, we'll do the same on the other one. Take a centimetre square out of there. And then that folds in like that. So pop some adhesive It's starting to look like a card. Okay. Now we need to build the bow, which I've got here somewhere. I've already cut these out. It's a sheet of piece of real red, and it's 1.5 inches by 8 inches, or 4 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And what I've done is I've used an envelope punch to punch this here in the middle. So literally at 4 inches, and then punch, turn it round and punch again at 4 inches. So I'm going to use a bone folder just to curve it a little to make it go into its position easier. Okay, and then we're going to pop some snail on the back of here, and then we can pop those down like so. Again, some more snail, and we take the second piece of the bow and we literally lay the bow on top like so. And then we take the third piece of the bow, which is 1 centimetre, 1/2 an inch by 3 3¼ or 1 centimetre by 8½ centimetres. And we're going to put a bit more snail on the back here. And then we can just fold that up like so. A bit more snail. Take that down. And then you have your bow. Just going to trim that little bit off, it's a bit too long. Like this now will sit on our card. Plenty adhesive. Very straight. I want to use Tombow, but the snail was closer to hand this morning. There we are. And that will just slot under there like that. Right, we're going to pop some buttons down here. So I'm using the basic pearl buttons to make my buttons. Just 2 there. And then for the bottom button, the one on the actual tuxedo, I will use some glue dots and just glue that to there. Okay, it's looking okay. Right, we've got, because this is a 21st birthday card, what I've done is I've cut 2 of each, 1 in gold, 1 in whisper white, from the large number framelets. And I'm just going to, we've done the card, we put some buttons on. Now we're going to just do a little bit on the inside. I've got these numbers cut out from the using the large letter framelets and running them through my big shot. So I've cut them out twice, 1 in whisper white and 1 in gold. And then literally just pop some, I've got my silicone mat here so that things don't stick quite so much to everything. I am getting in a bit of a pickle today. I'm going to just slightly offset it to give you that gold edge. And we're going to do the same with the 2. Plenty of glue. Okay, we're going to do the same with the 2 and just slightly offset it. What I've done is gone from the bottom just a millimetre, 1/2 millimetre maybe or so, and just to give you that slight gold edge. There we are. And we've got our 21. I'm going to pop some dimensionals on there to raise it up slightly. And do the same with the other one. open this card. And I'm just going to stagger this up there. So that it looks like that. Oops, that looks a bit wonky. There we go, there you have it. A beautiful card. And I'm hoping that my son will like it for his 21st birthday. Thank you very much for joining me, and I do hope you like this video, and I'll be back soon.